Hello and welcome to I've Seen Everything, where the name is ironic and the reactions are... Thank you everyone for being here today. This is today the culmination of something that's been building for a little while. Some of the most watched, most responded to, most popular videos I've had on my channel to date have been my reactions to the Lord of the Rings trilogy. And part of that reaction, part of that response in the comments, part of the interaction of the audience, and probably more than part, had to do with people telling me that I should have watched the extended editions, why I should have watched the extended editions, trying to get me to switch over to the extended editions after I'd already begun with theatrical. And I tried to make my case. And people told me I was wrong. Well, not everyone. The Lord of the Rings community as a whole was very kind to me. Went to great lengths to explain things to me, to help me understand things I didn't understand. Overall, it's been one of the best experiences I've had out here on this channel since I've started doing these videos. And I made a decision during those reactions, I am going to do the extended edition. And so here I am. So for those of you coming to this for the first time, there's some history here. This is labeled a first time viewing, and it is, but it also isn't, in that I have seen theatrical, but I have not seen the extended editions. And from what I've been told, the extended editions go into considerably more depth. They are a different experience from the theatrical release of the movie. And I feel, because I've seen the theatrical release of the movie, that will do nothing but help me appreciate this version of the movie even more. So I'm looking forward to it. So if you missed that entire drama of me watching theatrical before extended edition, and if you'd like to see my actual first time ever watching any versions of these movies, you can go ahead and go right here or wherever the link is. I don't know. And these will be more kind of companion videos to go along with it, to compare the differences and talk about if and why the extended editions may or may not be better. Wouldn't that be weird after all of this if I got done watching the extended editions and said, no, I think theatrical's better? I would have like one or two people on my side, and I think I'd have everyone else kill me. Anyway, here's the payoff, ladies and gentlemen. Here is finally me watching the extended versions of these movies. Before we get going, if you'd please do me a favor, go ahead and hit the like and subscribe button down there, click the bell, so you can see when I put out new videos, including other Lord of the Rings extended edition reactions, and potentially after that, The Hobbit, and so on. I'm even considering going on to the Rings of Power. Please tell me, are the Rings of Power any good? I know season 2 is getting ready to start. Let me know what you think. But for now, finally, here we are, Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring, extended edition. Here we go. New Line Cinema. This has to be the most popular franchise New Line Cinema has ever been a part of at this point. I wonder how much I remember from Fellowship of the Ring. It's been a little bit since I've watched it now.
3 were given to the elves, immortal, wisest, and fairest of all beings.
A little self-centered if she's saying that about herself.
Lords, but they were all of them deceived, for another ring was made. Dark Lord Sauron forged in secret a master ring. Others,
okay. So this is something I didn't necessarily understand the first time around.
One ring to rule them all.
Sauron betrayed the rest of these people who had these other rings of power by creating one that could control all of their rings. Someone explain that to me if you would.
And on the slopes of Mount Doom, they fought for the freedom of Middle-earth.
Also, are these wars against Sauron, is this what's in The Hobbit, or is this what's in Rings of Power? Probably Rings of Power make most sense. Elrond looking fierce. It says something about the kind of marksman that the elves have to be with their bows. The arrows literally flew right by Elrond's head. So is it the ring that makes Sauron so powerful, that he's able to just slaughter these scores of men all at once? It's the way legends are born. Ooh. That's just still such an evocative image. So I'm already picking up more. Sauron died just from losing the ring? Just from having it cut from his hand?
Sauron was defeated.
I didn't know that he could be defeated just by losing the ring, or just by having it taken off of him.
One chance to destroy evil, and the Ring of Power has a will of its own.
I totally get a little more of Isildur here. Okay, this is different. He used it to become invisible. Escape into the water.
Brave is Hildur.
Okay. That whole sequence, see, in the other one, it just cuts from him being tackled off of the horse to him floating down the river with arrows in his back.
The ring passed out of all knowledge.
Just on the bottom of the river.
For 500 years, it poisoned his mind.
So Gollum just sat there for 500 years and worshipped the ring, basically? He didn't try to use it for anything?
It abandoned Gollum.
The ring itself just decided to bounce off. So I'm assuming this is part of what's covered in The Hobbit, is that in more depth. That did paint somewhat, those few moments did paint somewhat of a different picture of Isildur, though, and what he was trying to do with the ring.
There and back again, a hobbit's tale.
I thought it would be easier for me to decipher what was in the theatrical cut and what was in this version. And I think some things will definitely stand out, but it's been long enough since I watched the other version, I might not pick up certain things. So if I miss something that is new from the extended cut, please let me know.
Hobbits, quite content to ignore and be ignored by the world of the big folk, being neither renowned as great warriors.
Yeah, this definitely feels somewhat new. A little bit more detail on who the hobbits are and what their lives are like.
Any real passion is for food. As we have also developed a keen interest in the brewing of ales and the smoking of pipeweed.
So basically in things that involve relaxation. Food, drink, smoking, and relaxing atmosphere.
That grow.
That was a different shot of Sam. We didn't see him that early before.
Frodo, the door.
And Frodo's out reading, I think, if I'm remembering correctly.
Dicklebacks, where is that?
There he
boy?
is. So who was at the door? I sense Gandalf. This is the moment you think back to, also. Frodo, such a carefree and innocent life.
You're late.
Wizard is never late. He arrives precisely when he means to.
A little self-serving. Their interactions, especially early on, are adorable.
I didn't think I'd miss your Uncle Bilbo's birthday.
That part largely seems the same.
To tell you the truth, Bilbo's been a bit odd lately.
Is this part different?
He's taken to locking himself in his study. He spends hours and hours poring over old maps when he thinks I'm not looking.
Yeah, it seems like we're lingering on the Bilbo stuff more before he encounters Gandalf. Yeah, this is different.
Where's he gone?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely didn't see him panicking about the ring or even see the ring with him this early on in the theatrical, I don't believe.
He's up to something.
So it alludes to it sooner, but I feel like we eventually get there anyway.
You've been officially labeled a disturber of the peace.
It's probably a fair label. Well, maybe not. Puts too much blame on Gandalf. And... oh. So let's not bury the lead here, though, either. Apparently Gandalf can control fireworks with his mind. Impressive and efficient.
Glad you're back.
These are some of the most peaceful parts of the entire trilogy because, you know, none of the hardship has really begun yet. I remember, and I said this on the first reactions, hearing that, you know, obviously people can go visit these places. Can people stay in the Hobbiton? Is that like a place you can go, like an Airbnb type thing?
Bilbo Baggins. You haven't aged a day.
Okay, I don't know if that's fair. He seems to have aged somewhat.
Welcome, welcome.
It's so odd now knowing more about how this was shot. They did such a great job.
Almost as old as I am.
Just tea, thank you.
Yeah, Ian McKellen deserves quite a bit of credit for how these things were shot. What a strenuous process to go through.
I can make you some eggs if you like.
Just tea, thank you.
All right.
He's just determined to offer him everything he has, isn't he? Do we see who it is?
It's the Sackville Bagginses. They're after the house. Never forgiven me for living this long.
I don't know if I think that's a little bit more than we got last time, too, about who it was at the door.
He's very fond of you.
I know. He'd probably come with me if I asked him.
Start to see how Bilbo's been haunted this whole time. It's interesting to think about where Bilbo is now at this point of the story and where Frodo ends up in the story.
I need a holiday, and I don't expect I shall return. In fact, I mean not to.
That is not a holiday. That is something entirely different.
Old Toby, finest weed in the South Valley.
Okay, you heard it here first. Well, not first, but Lord of the Rings encourages smoking weed. And I'm not saying that I'm against them on that, but their position is clear. Everyone having a good time. Yep, see there. That's the first time we see Sam in a theatrical cut, I think. Tell me if I'm wrong.
Go on, Sam. Ask Rosie for a dance.
He seems a lot more uptight here than he did in the previous shot.
Go on.
Frodo just threw him into Rosie. Okay, now those are impressive fireworks even by modern standards.
Mercy of 3 monstrous trolls. Whether they should sit on us one by one and squash us.
Bilbo enjoys terrifying children. Pippin and Merry. So we get introduced to them at the same point, doing the same thing.
Oh no, the big one, big one.
Yeah, it is interesting thinking about the transformations here. How everyone's so carefree and self-absorbed in the beginning, in some ways. Pippin and Merry meaning, but... Yeah, this whole Sackville Baggins' thing, I don't remember from the theatrical cut. I think that's all extended cut. Cut out the fact that there was a heritage dispute over Bag End.
You're a good lad, Frodo. You were the one Baggins that showed real spirit.
Bilbo, have you been at the Gaffer's home brew?
That's not the point.
I'm now wondering, please correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think we saw Frodo and Bilbo interact with each other at all before Bilbo left Bag End in the theatrical version. Let me know if I'm wrong.
I might have known.
And so they have to spend the rest of the night washing dishes.
My dear Bagginses and Buffins,
You know, your relatives you're trying to dodge are going to see you when they're up there.
today is my 111th birthday.
Triple ones.
I have things to do.
Awkward moment in the speech.
I'm going now. I bid you all a very fond farewell. Goodbye.
I didn't notice before that he was looking at Frodo when he said goodbye. I don't think that's new to the extended edition. I just think I didn't notice it before. He had this grand send-off plan. That was kind of an awkward way to go about it, but he seemed kind of overtaken at the moment.
What about this ring that's staying too?
It's in an envelope over there on the mantelpiece.
That is a lie.
No, wait, it's here in my pocket.
Yeah, I forgot he admits it.
Why shouldn't I keep it?
I think you should leave the ring behind.
So, help me understand. Maybe I missed this from before. Why is Bilbo surrendering the ring? Is he starting to understand the hold it's starting to take on him?
My business isn't of yours when I do with my own
I
things.
think you've had that ring quite long enough.
Yeah, you don't want to end up like Gollum. Or Smeagol, rather.
I'm not trying to rob you. I'm trying to help you.
Lashing out against his friend. Not Gandalf. Bilbo is lashing out against his friend. Gandalf was just trying to scare some sense back into him.
You're right, Gandalf. The ring must go to Frodo.
Yeah, I'm going to have to make it to the Hobbit movies. I need to see their backstory.
Bilbo.
Still have the ring. The metaphor of the ring and power, and the alluring draw of power. But it's also this idea that people have that
I've thought up an ending for my book.
they don't have the humility to see how they themselves could be corrupted. They think they will be the exception.
Goodbye, Gandalf.
And I think the ultimate argument being that there's certain kinds of power that nobody should have, especially when it comes to power that can harm others.
Until our next meeting.
I definitely have a greater understanding of what's going on this time, and I'm enjoying it even more than I did the first time around. Oh, this is different. Oh, yeah, that's definitely different. In the theatrical version, we just see this. We don't see Gandalf ever try to pick up the ring or anything like that.
Bilbo! Bilbo!
For the people advocating for the extended edition, I can see your point a little bit more there. That gives Gandalf more of a sense of exactly what ring it was that Bilbo had.
Bilbo's ring. The ring is yours now.
Frodo doesn't have any idea what the ring is right now, I don't believe.
I don't understand.
Neither do I. Keep it secret. Keep it safe.
Frodo's asked to understand a lot out of nowhere here. Bilbo's gone, Gandalf is obviously disturbed by something, and there's this ring that presumably Frodo hasn't known anything about to this point that is all of a sudden very important. Ah, Mordor. So lovely this time of year. I still say it, there's castles and there's castles and there's that. You know, I don't want to repeat myself, but how else do you see that? And so there, this time, we hear Gollum, Shire, and Baggins, which they said last time, but I talked over it, which I found out in the edit. Where is this that Gandalf has gone to research?
High King of Gondor and the finding of the Ring of Power.
So Gandalf has to study the history of the Ring of Power because he doesn't know it. It's not something that's known. They're hot on the trail. Yeah, get inside, doggy.
Baggins is right here. What happened to Hobbiton?
Yeah, get inside. Save yourself. Not a party without Pippin and Merry, is it?
Cheers, Gaffer.
Well, it's none of our concern what goes on beyond our borders.
Yeah, that always goes well. Don't pay attention to what's going on outside your borders.
Good night, sweet maiden of the golden ale.
Mind who you're sweet talking. Don't worry, Sam.
Sam's awful territorial of somebody he hasn't approached himself yet.
Is it secret? Is it safe?
You don't gotta jump out of the dark and scare somebody, Gandalf.
Hold out your hand, Frodo. It's quite cool.
Hold out your hand, Frodo. It's what all the cool kids are doing.
Wait. There were markings. It's some form of Elvish.
Okay, and maybe I missed that from the research, but is the appearance of the lettering supposed to signify something? Meaning that they're close, maybe?
One ring to bring them all, and in the darkness, find them.
Them all, meaning all of the ring bearers?
Bilbo found it. In Gollum's cave.
For 60 years, the ring lay quiet, prolonging his life, delaying old age.
See, that's the thing that the way they've done this in the movies, and there was talk about this in the comments about time jumps, and that in the books things take a lot longer than they show in the movies. For him to say that it was staving off Bilbo's aging then gives you reason that when Frodo sees Bilbo again, that he's so much older, as opposed to that so much time had passed.
Sauron has returned. The fortress of Barad-dûr is rebuilt in the land of Mordor. Sauron needs only this ring to cover all the lands on a second darkness.
Okay, so, and me just maybe understanding better this time, that's what Gandalf saw, is that Sauron's empire is already almost completely rebuilt.
Keep it hidden. We never speak of it again. No one knows it's here.
Someone knows it's there.
But that would lead them here.
Indeed it would, Frodo.
I'm giving it to you.
Don't tempt me, Frodo!
But it cannot stay in the Shire.
No!
Hence, Frodo must leave the Shire with the ring.
I must see the head of my order. You'll know what to do.
If that were only true, meeting with Saruman does not go quite as well as he's hoped.
Get down.
Danger afoot. That or a Samwise. That had to have hurt.
I ain't been dropping no eaves, sir, honest.
Don't be dropping them eaves.
What did you hear?
Nothing important.
I heard a good deal about a ring and a Dark Lord and something about the end of the world, but
Oh, nothing important.
Never put it on. The ring is trying to get back to its master. It wants to be found.
So don't listen to it. Not something you should have to worry about with a piece of jewelry, but in this case, don't trust it. I definitely feel what people were describing in the comments about speed over detail. We talk about theatrical versus the extended, which makes sense. I remember this moment.
This is it. If I take one more step, it'll be the farthest away from home I've ever been.
I still don't understand how he knows that unless Sam just counts how many steps he is from home everywhere he goes. It's the furthest you've ever been, Sam. Yeah, definitely more shots in the woods and traveling. Their travels are certainly a lot easier at this point in the journey.
Wood elves.
Yeah, that's new, I believe.
They're leaving Middle-earth, never to return.
Yeah, we definitely didn't see this the first time around.
I don't know why. It makes me sad.
There is something to be said for the fact that taking more time gives you a greater sense of the environment. It gives you more time to kind of absorb it all in and feel grounded in the story and the surroundings of what's happening.
The hour grows late, Gandalf the Grey.
And we find Saruman.
My old friend, Saruman.
Saruman in the not-so-white. His outfit seemed kind of dingy in that shot.
So the Ring of Power has been found.
All these long years, it was in the Shire, under my very nose.
And yet you did not have the wit to see it.
This was one of the first moments, even watching it for the first time, that seemed odd. He seemed awful angry.
Sauron has regained much of his former strength. A great eye, lidless, wreathed in flame.
Saruman seems intimidating from the beginning, and speaking from a place of darkness, kind of.
We do not know who else may be watching.
He got an idea of who's watching just there.
The Nine have left Minas Morgul.
They've reached the Shire.
They will find the ring and kill the one who carries it.
Yeah, Saruman's not hiding his evil nature very well. I mean, he's not trying to now, but he wasn't before either.
We did not seriously think that a hobbit could contend with the will of Sauron.
Oh, there's the reveal.
We must join with him, Gandalf.
I believe you already have, sir.
Tell me, friend, when did Saruman the Wise abandon reason for madness?
I myself would like to know that. I would like to see the corruption of Saruman. But from what I've been told, it was the Seeing Stone that has corrupted him. Wizard fight, a lot of flipping and falling down, sliding. A lot of different staff-related fighting moves. It's like a Jedi fight, but less glowy. Ring around the rosy. Yeah, that's still really high. That's why I thought Gandalf wasn't going to survive the first time I saw that.
Throw you a couple of carrots and some crabs, and those 3 bags of potatoes that we left you last week, and then the mushrooms the week before.
Don't get arrested with Pippin. He'll tell the cops everything you've done for the last month. Yeah, I think pretty much everything you stole is destroyed at this point. Yeah, if I'm remembering, get off the path, guys. Yeah, I don't even know what that is, but if you see it, get off the road.
Get off the road! Quick!
That's a lot more casual than I expected them to roll up. Made you think they were going to come thundering through there. It is still kind of surprising that they're far enough in there not to be seen. So this is part of the power of this Dark Rider. Frodo's even being tempted, without knowing it, to put the ring on.
What was that?
Fair question. Frodo's starting to get a sense about the power of this ring as far as its influence on him. I think that was the first time it tried to take hold of him.
I have to leave the Shire. Sam and I must get debris. Buckleberry Ferry, follow me.
Buckleberry Ferry, indeed. I don't even care what that means. I'm going with you. I know what it means now. Frodo is now going to compete in the Buckleberry Ferry long jump. Boom! The horse said, screw that.
How far to the nearest crossing? Brandywine Bridge, 20 miles.
Yeah, you might want to get further away from them than that. Buckleberry Ferry and the Brandywine Bridge. These are quite the names.
You are heading for the Prancing Pony.
Who among us has not been heading for the Prancing Pony at one point or another? Hey, he looks familiar. The Prancing Pony. Quite an intimidating name for a bar. I think we can all agree.
If you're looking for accommodation, we've got some nice, cosy, hobbit-sized rooms available. Always proud to cater to little folk, Mr.
Quite a salesman. This guy's looking to move some hobbit rooms.
Gandalf the Grey, can you tell him we've arrived?
Not seen him for 6 months.
Well, that's going to be problematic, isn't it?
What do we do now?
I think those hobbit rooms sound pretty inviting. But a beer first, you know.
What's that? This is a pint. I'm getting one.
And a pint is significantly more for someone of that size.
That fellow's done nothing but stare at you since we arrived.
Who is he?
What his right name is, I've never heard. Round here, known as Strider.
Strider indeed. I think I might know what his right name is. But it is creepy just to continually stare at someone. I don't care who you are. Yeah, sometimes you just gotta twirl a ring and zone out a bit.
Sure I know about him. He's over there.
Jeez. Pippin again. Pippin doesn't know how to keep his mouth shut. He admits all the stuff readily that he's stolen, and then he blabs to random people at a bar about Frodo. I mean, come on. Now Frodo finds himself in the Shadow Realm, or whatever this is. I forget what it's called. It's the ultimate game of hide and seek. The Sauron guy seems intense.
You draw far too much attention to yourself.
Jeez, just throwing a little guy around.
Are you frightened? Yes. Not nearly frightened enough. I know what haunts you.
Do we know how Strider knows what's after him? How he knows that Frodo has the ring? Has he been in contact with Gandalf? Is that how he knows?
They're coming.
I always feel bad for that guy. Also, he was not there when that door fell. It fell far too flat. Creepy. I mean, creepiness is the least of their problems. They're there to murder them. That is well done as far as how that sequence is laid out.
Sauron the Deceiver gave to them 9 rings of power.
I feel like this part is new as well.
They are the Nazgul, ring wraiths, neither living nor dead.
So it feels like a lot of the extended parts that's kind of a good representation of what it is kind of a little bit of extra artful exposition about where we are and what's happening. That gives just those few more moments gives a bit more of a complete idea of who the ring wraiths are.
But where is he leading us?
Rivendell, Master Gamgee.
Rivendell. That's the name I couldn't remember earlier.
Did you hear that? Rivendell. We're going to see the elf.
So my point before was I think that in the theatrical cut that we didn't really see Frodo and Bilbo together until Rivendell.
What did he eat? When they can't get Hobbit?
Yeah, I feel like this part's new as well. Detailing a little more of the struggle of their journey. You can see in certain situations why they would cut sequences like that for time. They don't really add to the story directly, like the core story, but they do kind of flesh out the world a little more, make things feel a little more complete and full.
Who is she?
Even this is...
'Tis the Lay of Luthien, the elf maiden who gave her love to Beren.
the first illusion of being in love with somebody. Not speaking of Arwen directly, but...
Build me a home worthy of Mordor. We have work to do.
And work they do. And boy, will they pay for it. For the destruction that they wreak. You don't want to wake up and just find yourself on top of a tower, you know? It's an inconvenient place to be.
These are for you. Stay here.
Put it out, you fools! Put it out!
They have no sense whatsoever. Yeah, Merry and Pippin suffer through some terrible things, but it also seems like there's some necessary change that happens there, too. Yeah, that's a fairly imposing thing to face down. Sam's still first to the fight. He might not be the most skilled, but he will put himself to the hazard for sure. To some, you are not invisible. It does seem like wearing this ring, he should have some power to ward them off. But maybe it's because the power is only for Sauron to wield. Other people who think they can wield it are fooled by the power of the ring, essentially. Aragorn taking on all the ring wraiths by himself. It's pretty badass. You don't get much tougher than that. And doing a pretty fair job of setting all of them on... I mean, he set like 3 of them on fire, I think. Sorry, I should be calling him Strider. We don't have the other name yet.
He needs Elvish medicine.
We're 6 days from Rivendell. He'll never make it.
Well, Sam, you can't exactly give up now. Production is well underway at Isengard. They worked pretty fast tearing down all those trees. That thing is still cute, I think. Now, did it just happen to find Gandalf, or did Gandalf call to it? Seems like maybe it just happened to find him. Nevertheless, it was fortunate. Using ancient trees as fuel. I still don't feel like I completely understood this process. Are the Uruk-hai just formed out of the mud, or how does it happen? That makeup is still incredible. This is new, it feels like.
It's Mr. Bilbo's trolls.
Yeah, I feel like that's definitely new.
Ranger caught off his guard.
Arwen is sneaky. Or stealthy, if you prefer. I don't remember if someone explained to me or not. Is this... Why does he see her this way? Is it just to do with her, or is it to do with her being an elf? And does he only now understand Elvish because he's dying and hallucinating?
I've been looking for you for 2 days.
Where are you taking him?
How did she know to be looking for them?
Right hard. Don't look back.
As I remember, Arwen is no one to be trifled with.
Those wraiths are still out there!
Yeah, he knows, and he's given Frodo the best possible chance that he has, getting the strong sense that if anyone can get him there, she can. So there were 5 following them. I can't remember how many show up here. That looks like quite a bit already. Is it already 9? And it's hard to count when they're all riding. I'm going to assume that's 9. Yeah. Well, it definitely looks like more than 5. Yeah, catch this. I do wonder why they stopped by the edge of the river if they weren't unable to travel across the river. Maybe because they feel like she's trapped.
If you want him, come and claim him.
She's facing down all those wraiths like that. That takes some guts. Call the water horses. Yeah, why don't you just, stand there in the river and watch them come at you? Water horses, away! And back to riding. Frodo is fading fast.
Frodo, no. Not now.
That was another thing I don't remember if I ever had answered was, is she just empathetic for him, or does she seems to know him already?
Save him.
But maybe I'm just misreading that. Or maybe because they know Bilbo. Maybe that's what it is.
You are in the house of Elrond.
And that is the voice of Gandalf.
10 o'clock in the morning on October the 24th.
Apparently they use our same calendars and time.
A few more hours and he would have been beyond our aid.
Frodo looks like he's had a rough couple of days.
Why didn't you meet us?
Yeah, we kind of skipped.
I was delayed.
I was going to say, we kind of skipped past his escape. Again, a lot of throwing with the wizards.
Embrace the power of the ring.
Not a moment too soon, Mr. Butterfly.
There is only one Lord of the Ring, and he does not share power.
I never remember the title actually getting checked in there, Lord of the Ring. I'd say Lord of the Ring, but I suppose the Lord of the One Ring is the Lord of all the rings. So
you have chosen death.
I think right now he's chosen to fly on a pretty cool freaking eagle.
What is it?
Nothing.
That's a lot of exposition to just say nothing.
Sam has hardly left your side.
That's pretty on par for Sam.
Skills of Lord Elrond, you're beginning to mend.
Welcome to Rivendell, Frodo Baggins.
Yeah, Elrond saved your ass a little bit there, Frodo. And so did Arwen getting you there. That's the other thing. I don't think we ever see him go, find her and thank her or anything. I guess things get rolling pretty quickly with the Fellowship taking off with the ring. But always good to see Pippin and Merry. And Bilbo.
Bilbo!
I really feel like in the theatrical cut, this is the first time we ever see the two of them together.
I meant to go back, see the Lonely Mountain again. Age, it seems, has finally caught up with me.
Yeah, in these movies, things seem to happen a lot faster, so maybe that's why they dropped that detail in there about the ring keeping him young to explain his more rapid aging in the movies.
I spent all my childhood pretending I was off somewhere else, off with you on one of your adventures. My own adventure turned out to be quite different.
So, leading back to The Hobbit, Frodo grew up hearing about Bilbo's adventures, like what he was telling those children. I wonder if we actually see that in The Hobbit.
You're right, Sam. The ring will be safe in Rivendell. I am ready to go home.
If only, Frodo. If only you'd been able to go home at this point. perhaps things would have been different.
Sauron's forces are massing in the east. Saruman, you tell me, has betrayed us. Our list of allies grows thin.
Thin indeed, Elrond.
We do not have the strength to fight both Mordor and Isengard.
The elves are being asked a lot of them at this point. Boromir, Legolas,
To all Middle-earth.
and good old Gimli.
It is in men we must place our hope.
Men are weak.
Elrond is pretty pessimistic about just about everybody.
I was there 3,000 years.
But perhaps he hasn't had a lot to give him hope in the time since this happened, essentially.
I was there the day the strength of men failed.
Follow me.
Could Elrond not have thrown it in somehow?
Cast it into the fire!
I guess he would have been just as susceptible to be overcome by the ring as anyone else.
Destroy it!
No.
He has to understand how almost impossible that would have been for him to do.
There's no strength left in the world of men.
There is one who could unite them.
He turned from that path a long time ago.
People can change their minds. And there is no one more clearly a hero from the moment we meet him than Aragorn, which I will now start calling him.
Who are you? I'm a friend to Gandalf the Grey. We are here on common purpose. The shards of Narsil. Still sharp.
Well, yeah. Put a blade to your finger and be surprised when it cuts you.
No more than a broken head.
Well, don't disrespect something they've obviously kept in place for a reason. Foreshadowing.
You are not bound to his fate.
The same blood flows in my veins. The same weakness.
I really had this wrong the first time around. I kept saying it was that his father, forgetting that it was 3,000 years before. So they say the line of kings is broken, and they said that he prefers exile. Does that mean his father was king, but Aragorn chose not to take on the mantle of king? When was the line of kings broken? That actually makes sense where he says he thought he strayed into a dream based on how they see each other later on, or how he keeps dreaming about her.
You said you'd bind yourself to me.
And to that I hold.
And she fell hard for him. She's willing to give up something like that.
I choose a mortal life.
You cannot give me this.
It is mine to give to whom I will, like my heart.
I think I said this last time, but I do feel like that is the type of immortality someone would actually want. One that they can surrender if they choose. If you're immortal and you have no choice about it, it starts to feel kind of like its own prison, I would imagine.
Been summoned here to answer the threat of Mordor. Middle-earth stands upon the brink of destruction.
I feel much more like I'm able to appreciate this time, not being quite so lost at what's going on. I'm sure there's still more to pick up.
Bring forth the ring, Frodo.
It is true.
This is a dangerous proposition, putting this ring in front of all of these leaders and powerful people.
In a dream, I saw the eastern sky grow dark.
This is new.
Isildur's baying.
Yeah, that's definitely different than last time. And that shows the ring's power right there. He almost got up and just grabbed it immediately.
The ring is altogether evil.
It is a gift.
That was a different line delivery. They chose a different shot for that.
Long has my father, the steward of Gondor, kept the forces of Mordor at bay.
Yeah, this is a different take altogether.
Are your land kept safe?
I like that one better.
Let us use it against him. You cannot wield it. He is Aragorn, son of Arathorn.
So was Arathorn king, is my question. Maybe they said it at some other point that I don't remember.
Aragorn, and heir to the throne of Gondor. Gondor has no king. Gondor needs no king.
He said heir to the throne. He didn't say he was king. But that also carries more weight now having seen his father.
The ring must be destroyed.
What are we waiting for?
Gimli straight to it. I mean, someone had to illustrate the point.
The fires of Mount Doom. Only there can it be unmade.
And so the quest is set.
One of you must do this.
More than one of them must do it.
It is a barren wasteland. The very air you breathe is a poisonous fume. Not with 10,000 men could you do this.
I have to say, and I'm sure people will agree with me, I much prefer Boromir's delivery in this version.
What happens when Sauron takes back what is his?
I will be dead before I see the ring in the hands of an elf.
I had forgotten this part about Gimli being at odds with the elves so much. I shouldn't have forgotten it. I remember his comments later, but that's quite an arc for them. How is that an argument, though? What if we fail? Okay, so what do you do instead? Just wait for Sauron to come and take the ring? You don't attempt to destroy it so that he can't have it back?
I will take it. I
I will take the ring to Mordor.
Gandalf was both afraid of and waiting for that to happen, I think.
I do not know the way.
I will help you, Frodo Baggins.
You have my sword.
So the Fellowship begins to assemble.
And you have my bow.
And my axe.
Even if you have to travel with an elf, Gimli, who knows? You might come to be friends.
Then Gondor will see it done.
Mr. Frodo's not going anywhere without me. No.
Sam hiding in the bushes.
Oi, we're coming too.
Jeez, there's hobbits hiding everywhere, isn't there?
Intelligence on this sort of mission quest.
Well said, Pippin.
You shall be the Fellowship of the Ring.
Credits.
Where are we going?
I've forgotten that. Where are we going? Pippin committing himself to whatever this is before he even knows what it is. That's great. Hello, Future Andrew here. I'm the one editing the video. You've reached the end of part 1. Are you enjoying it? So am I. Have I frustrated you with talking over certain parts of the movie? Well, that's the way reaction videos go. What will happen next? Will I react to something in a way that will anger people? You'll have to click over to part 2 to see. I just hope that I didn't put the thumbnail in front of my face. Did I put it in front of my face? I hope not. See you at part 2.